Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Dovmac once again, and today we've got some more information about the Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind DLC that we first got a trailer for during E3. Famitsu interviewed Nomura about some of the stuff that's being added to the DLC, and thanks to KH13, we have an early translation of what Nomura talked about. So, Nomura stated, the strongest class limit cut boss from Remind was not shown in the Remind DLC trailer. The trailer only shows elements from the additional scenario. This is awesome because we're barely scratching the surface with what's in the Remind DLC. The fights in the Keyblade Graveyard, where you get to play as like Roxas or Riku or whoever, that seems like pretty small additions to what we were kind of expecting for a DLC. So the fact that this was barely scratching the surface is great. But there are going to be much more bosses, and the limit cut boss that he keeps mentioning, I feel like might be a pain in the ass, but if we skip down, we see that the number of new bosses in Remind will be roughly as many as there were in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. There are 8 new bosses in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. The story boss with Roxas, the 6 dead organization members from Chain of Memories, and then the Lingering Will. So there are just about probably at least 6 new bosses if we're going to be around there. Because there were 8 in 2FM. So if there are around that many, there could be, 5, 6. So that's awesome to hear. But if you're kind of confused on what's being added, Nomura said that the DLC will include the Remind scenario, a limit cut episode and bosses, and also a secret episode and bosses. So this is awesome because the Remind scenario is kind of the cutscenes with young Xehanort, the Master of Masters, as well as Luxord and Xigbar. The limit cut is something completely out of our knowledge. And then the secret episode and their bosses is something that is completely out of our knowledge as well. So we have very small video of what we kind of know about. And then advancing through the list here, Nomura wants to release Remind quickly and not too close to Final Fantasy VII's remake in March of 2020. So this is great because this will still hopefully be a 2019 release for Remind. Hopefully we can get it before, or at least in December of 2019. It seems like Nomura doesn't want to have anything Kingdom Hearts 3 run into Final Fantasy VII. He wants them to kind of have their own successes on their own, which is great. So hopefully that means that the Remind DLC will stay in 2019 just like its game did. Progressing further, Roxas can be selected after advancing through additional scenarios like Riku and Aqua. So I guess that means as you play through the story or you play through the scenarios, you can pick who you want to fight as in those fights, which is something that was assumed as soon as we saw the information, so to get confirmation on that is cool. And then the final bullet point says that the additional scenarios are independent of and can be enjoyed after clearing the main story. So they can be selected from the main menu, so once you finish the main game, you'll be able to just go to those moments in time and play through them, which is pretty exciting because, you don't have to, finagle a save file just so you can replay those fights again. Those fights will be available to just select and play from the main menu. So that's really cool. And I don't know if those just mean the Keyblade Graveyard fights that we saw in the trailer or all of the secret bosses. Hopefully there are a way to access the secret bosses after the game, in the game, just like they were in 1 Final Mix and 2 Final Mix and Birth by Sleep Final Mix, just by walking into an area and fighting them. Hopefully that's still part of the game. I'd imagine they will be, but we'll see. We'll see what's selectable from the main menu or not. Hopefully it's just the refightable fights from the story with Roxas, Riku, and Aqua. Now, another thing with this information today is we found more about the Oathkeeper Keyblade and the new form that comes with it. One of the more exciting things about the Remind DLC trailer is the fact that we saw the Oathkeeper. Finally, people were really upset that the Oathkeeper and Oblivion Keyblades weren't in Kingdom Hearts 3 because they had been in every main numbered game since the start of Kingdom Hearts, the Oathkeeper and the Oblivion. But now the Oathkeeper is being added, and it will be free DLC alongside the Remind. Remind, all of those scenarios will be paid DLC, but the Oathkeeper Keyblade and its new form will be free, so that's awesome. So whatever Keyblades they might add in the future, those could be free DLC, or they might be paid, but it's nice to know that the Oathkeeper is a free addition, and that they're adding something like that. Hopefully the Oblivion gets added at some point in time. That's one of my all-time favorite Keyblades, so to get that added would be amazing. But guys, that about wraps it up for today. We found some great information out about the Remind DLC. We found out that there are going to be just as many bosses as there were in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, which is awesome because Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix is still king when it comes to Kingdom Hearts games, so and that's because of the secret bosses added in Final Mix. So to see that there will be just as many in Kingdom Hearts 3 with the Remind DLC, that's great news, and that's something to very much be excited about, as well as all of the other information that comes with it, with all of the scenarios, the new cutscenes, the new bosses, the Oathkeeper being free, and the fact that Nomura wants it out as soon as possible is fantastic. So as the time gets closer and we get closer to the release date of the Remind DLC, more news will come up and more videos will be there from me. So if you guys could leave a like on this video, that would be awesome. It really helps out the channel. So please leave a like, comment, let me know what you think about the Remind DLC. Let me know what you thought about Kingdom Hearts 3 in general. How are you doing in critical mode so far? I want to know. And then subscribe. Check out my other videos. Check out my Kingdom Hearts 3 review. Once I beat critical mode, I will be back on here talking about my critical mode experience, so please look forward to that. Thanks again, guys, and until next time, or until there's more nerd news, I'll catch you guys later.